the Calgary Flames. That's the city I live in. It's where we first chatted on Calgary Sports Radio. I thought they were the most disappointing team in the National Hockey League this season. All due respect to expectations for Philadelphia or the Rangers, I thought the Flames missing the playoffs was not necessarily a part of my equation this year, and they did it rather handily. So, what do you expect to see from the Calgary Flames this offseason? I know I do have to let you go, but I have one more. What was working with Vince McMahon like? He is a mythical figure amongst wrestling fans. We don't get a lot of glimpses into the real life person. How many, or I guess, what were your interactions like with him? I want to focus on the Raptors now because they're my favorite team and this is my show. Kyle Lowry is gone, so it is a new era in Toronto. Apparently, the Goran Dragic era won't last very long. Which, by the way, like, this last run for the Raptors has been great, but a lot of people are showing that they're new around here because, like, I'm old enough to remember Alonzo Mourning, and I'm old enough to remember. Oh, hey, look, the Raptors got a meeting with LaMarcus Aldridge. Okay, like that was a marquee. That was like a top 5 moment for the franchise until 3 years ago. So this whole Goran Dragic thing is nothing new. But would you expect him to be on the opening day roster for the Toronto Raptors, or is that another move that is coming for the Raps? Talking about big meaty men smacking meat. I don't know why. I would love a Big E Walter match. Like I think that would be. I don't want Walter anywhere near the main roster except for a meat smacking match with Big E.
I would love if he created almost like the U.S. Open challenge, a big meaty man slapping meat challenge. Like,
how different was what you expected that to be versus what it actually came out to be?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, Peter, and I haven't spoken publicly about this at all, so this is your exclusive. Congratulations.
This next question is remarkably unfair to ask of you, but I'll do it anyway.
Please do.
We talk about the likelihood of him playing on Thursday. What's the likelihood of him still playing on Saturday? Like, how do we expect Tiger Woods to play this weekend? Just from a personal standpoint, you are an NHL insider, but covering the Canadian team with the Toronto Maple Leafs, the one that gets the most coverage. And then going into the playoffs, there's a certain expectation when you're reporting just on the playoffs or focusing on that. But for you, there's also the NHL insidery stuff that I can't even begin to imagine what all goes into that. Is it tough to balance, like, hey, I need to pay attention to the rest of the league, but also I'm covering kind of one of the biggest teams in the league here for a playoff run? Is that a tough balance for you personally? Got a lot going on in the NFL as the offseason has been drunk, essentially. We will begin with Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins, a move that comes out of nowhere. And I can't imagine, we'll start with Tyreek Hill. I can't imagine this has a positive impact on his fantasy value. That was going to be one of my questions, is with your job as the chief marketing officer, when you want to kind of promote this game, there is, like you said, like, you can go as in-depth as you want on this. Is it a difficult balance to be like, hey, this is the most like in-depth baseball game you're ever going to play, but don't get scared away? But for those of you who love that, it's going to be really intense. But for those of you, like, I would find that to be a difficult balance to walk. How tricky is that?
It's extremely difficult. I mean, you nailed it, right? Because
I appreciate you trying to do the belt collector thing, but I've seen Kat Von Ease in the gym before. I would steer clear of that one. Like, the tag team titles, heavyweight title, one thing, but I would stay clear of Kat if I were you. Just some unsolicited advice here.
She is a beast, so you might be right on that.